Good morning, Leanne, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Let's talk about the Citizenship Act first. What are its implications?
Well, essentially, the Citizenship Act closes a number of gaps that we had in our law. It addresses the matter of how young children, when they achieve the age of majority, would be able to apply for naturalization or citizenship, because you have children who are born to parents who are not South Africans, and yet they're born in South Africa. They don't automatically acquire citizenship, but at reaching majority, they can apply to become citizens. So it clarifies a number of areas that were not quite clearly addressed in our previous act.
Okay. Now, the announcement that was made last week in terms of the abridged certificates not being issued anymore, only unabridged birth certificates now. Let's just go back to this. What exactly does it mean for South Africans?
We are trying very hard to create a secure national population register for South Africa. We'd like to have a database on which we have certainty that the persons recorded on it are actually nationals in South Africa and foreign nationals who live in our country. So in moving toward that, we need to reduce the amount of paper documents that we have on our system currently. So the unabridged birth certificate will contain all the details of parents, of newborn babies, as well as the detail of the child and their identity number. So we avoid this situation, which we have currently, where parents get an abridged certificate initially just with the mother and the child's details. And then a year or so later, they come back asking for what's normally called a full certificate, which is the unabridged one, and thus causing us to produce more paper documents. You also will avoid persons claiming others' identity, because we'll have the child's identity number on the certificate, the parents' name and identity numbers, so we'll be able to track the family in a very, very clear and concise way. It improves our record keeping, reduces the amount of paper, and of course stops our clients having to come back and forth to the Home Affairs Department to ask for documents.
Yeah. How is it actually going to work? I mean, is this unabridged certificate going to be issued on the spot?
It's going to be issued on the spot from the 4th of March. All parents will have a new unabridged birth certificate issued to them.
Okay. And what about previous births? I mean, I'll give myself as an example. My child's now 5 months old. What do I do for her? Do I have to now apply for a new birth certificate for her?
Well, if you want to have a birth certificate with your details and the details of the father of the child, then you would have to apply for an unabridged birth certificate.
Okay, so it's something that everybody should do, is now go and apply for an unabridged one.
It's very useful to have the unabridged, because when your child in future may want to trace the family tree, or actually needs to get a passport or some other documentation, if we have the details of both parents, it's far easier to assist your child than when we have just one parent's details.
Yeah. Recently, the department's been in the news about how easy it is to compromise the accuracy and the security features of ID documents. Now, what is the department's response to this?
Well, Leanne, as you know, we are planning to move to a smart card ID. We intend to phase out the green ID book. We're working very hard toward introducing that in the latter half of this year. We've been discussing the technical specifications and looking at acquiring the appropriate technology. So I'm quite excited with progress in that regard. We will have a smart card for South Africans with biometric security features. It will not be able to be forged. It will have your unique fingerprint details as well as your facial details, which won't be the photo that can be replaced in an ID book. So within, we think, 6 to 7 years, we would be able to eventually phase out all IDs, the green book, and actually have a smart card. as the practice of South Africa.
Yeah. Which is a phenomenal idea, and I think it is going to help a lot. But in the interim, I mean, 6 to 7 years is a long time when we find that fraudulent activity is something that's rife in South Africa. What do we do in the meantime?
Well, we're targeting corruption quite vigorously. We've established a counter-corruption unit, and also we have reduced the number of duplicate IDs and fraudulent ID documents. It is my intention at the end of this year to declare all duplicate IDs invalid, and so I hope South Africans are listening and are warned. So we will take that step, and that will mean any fraudulent document will be invalidated, and thus it will be illegal to possess it, and one would not be able to use it.
Minister, thank you very much for talking to us. Minister Naledi Pandor is the Minister of Home Affairs, talking to us from our Pretoria studios again. Thank you. All right, that brings us